bad laugh. Culture gang.
Culture gang.
Let's go.
I'm Gerron.
Bo. That was really disorganized.
Yeah, that sucked.
That was bad. But hey, what are we doing today?
The homie Wrestle Talk. WWE's worst mistakes made with the WWE Championship.
I'm trying to bet this dude here that Jinder Mahal is at least
number one.
I'm saying he's number one on the list. And I will go on the epic rant at the end of it. You know what? You won't get the rant if he's not number one. But if he's number one, I'm going on the biggest rant this channel will probably ever see.
I don't know, the Eagle Rule was pretty good.
It will eclipse that, I promise you. But let's get into it, alright?
Let's get it.
It's the greatest prize in sports entertainment, and it can be used to hold
Why does he look like a hot dog?
The WWE Championship dates back to the WWF. It's decorated the waist of this industry's greatest talents and also Sid. It's WWE's oldest current operating title. It's most prestigious, the highest accolade in the biggest wrestling company in the world, the boyhood dream for so many aspiring wrestlers.
I forgot. Are we betting $1? Because I bet this fool that Jinder Mahal is number one. Are we betting $1 or 20 push-ups?
Which one you want to do?
$1?
Should be. But it isn't. WWE have done some unbelievably dumbass things with its biggest belt, not least making it second fiddle to its younger twin brother with leather look ugly even if it's red or blue. Vince was champion once for some reason. JBL held it for an interminably long amount of time, ending Eddie Guerrero's only title run on a bloody technicality. And it f***ing span for a time. Hey. Those aren't even bad enough to make this list. This is going to be rough. Here are the 10 worst mistakes WWE made with the WWE Championship. Number 10, never giving it to Hot Rod. So look, I'm not saying that you have to have won the WWE Championship to be considered a legend in this business. That's silly. There are so many amazing wrestlers with spotless legacies, even though they've never won the big one. Mr. Perfect, Jake the Snake, Rick Rude, Nathan Jones, they're all brilliant. So, really should have put the belt on Roddy Piper at least once. The man who doesn't get enough credit for being the main antagonist in the whole rock and wrestling pop culture explosion. The guy could talk, he could draw heat like no one else. His feud with Hogan and Mr. T was the linchpin of WrestleMania. It's not about Roddy Piper deserving a WWE Championship run, although he did. It was a huge missed business opportunity. If you're telling me you would rather pay to see a boxing match between Hot Rod and Mr. T rather than Hulk Hogan going against heel champion Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 2, then he might need to walk into this.
WrestleMania 2 was fucking garbage, bro. Because I went back and watched all the rest when the pandemic hit. I went back and watched every single WrestleMania. Don't watch WrestleMania 2. It's not worth your time.
What year was that?
I think 86. I think.
I agree.
That shit was ass.
No, I agree.
I would say WrestleMania 9.
Is that the worst one?
No, 11.
Yeah.
11 was completely.
Oh, 11. They literally had Lawrence Taylor in the main event. NFL player.
Right. Fucking horrible.
Because your pants are on.
Let's go Big Blue.
Number 9, not running Hogan Flair at WrestleMania 8. Look, I promise I'll stop ragging on Sid when I'm dead. And this is something I've complained about before, so I'll keep it brief. On July 17th,
that's his
Hulk Hogan fought Ric Flair for the first time on pay-per-view. Hogan beat Flair and held up the world title in victory. He held up the WCW World Heavyweight title. Flair was WWF champion at Mania 8. Hogan was at Mania 8. That should have been the title that Hogan held up, that piece of wrestling history. I understand why the steroid scandal was heating up. Hogan had made himself the poster child of the scandal after a disastrous appearance on the Arsenio Hall show a few months earlier. Having Hogan as champion wouldn't have been great, but they still booked him at Mania 8. They still booked him in the main event. They still sold the show on the back of Hulk Hogan. They should have just booked Flair versus Hogan. And speaking of Hulk Hogan, number 8, just all of 1993. Just all of it. Only one good thing happened with the WWE Championship in 1993, and that was Razor Ramon versus Bret Hart at the Rumble. Then came badness. Bret lost the strap to Yokozuna at Mania 9 in a relatively bad main event before Hulk Hogan, returning after his time in the steroid wilderness, won it in a random and insulting bit of booking, basically cashing in without a briefcase after the main event of Mania, like Big Show did at Mania 36. Sorry, Bret. The sorry Brets would then intensify as Hogan didn't defend the belt for 2.5 months before losing it back to Yoko at King of the Ring via a nefarious cameraman because he didn't want to drop it to too small Bret Hart. Then Lex Luger didn't get over as Hulk Hogan Hogan replacement after the Hulkster left for Hollywood, meaning that Luger didn't win the strap as planned at SummerSlam 93, instead winning by countout and still celebrating, making the championship feel like nothing at all. And then the belt was only defended on TV 3 times for the rest of the year, twice ending in a DQ, and the only clean retention was over, checks notes, Dan Dubiel on Raw.
Damn!
Do you remember him? What a year. Almost an entire 12 months
Yo,
the title feeling like
they gotta fight me, bro.
or a pawn in the ego games of the soon-to-be departed Hulkster. But Yoko wasn't the worst WWE champion of the 90s. That would be number 7, Diesel Power. You would just be amazed at the amount of people who would not pay to see WWF champion Diesel in 1995. Behind the steroid trial, 1995 was the closest WWE came to going out of business. Just a dismal year of ticket sales that forced...
Yeah, all right, bro. What's wrong?
You good?
I'm good.
What's wrong?
to actually reduce the number of house shows it ran because it was costing them too much to do so. And house shows are supposed to be one of the company's biggest money makers, consequence-free but fun, untelevised shows normally headlined by the WWF Championship, except WWF had, in an effort to whack the belt on the tallest guy they could find, given it to Diesel. Would business have improved if they kept the title on Bob Backlund or Bret Hart, or they put on Owen instead? Undertaker, maybe, but 1995 was just such a bad year, it was hard to say. Like, Diesel wasn't just a problem by himself. It seems cruel to lump it all on him. Sure, he was slow and undynamic in the ring, but oh boy, there's a bunch of world champions you could say that.
Bro!
The point was, the roster was so anemic, he barely had
Bastian Booger, bro! Quang!
I've never seen this guy.
Max Moon! Repo!
The go to wrestling is Repo Man.
Belting him for an entire year, despite an entire year of it not working. I will simply never forgive them.
Yo, this match right here was trash, bro.
Main event of
Trash
all
can
time.
juice.
WWE's
What the fuck was
insistence
that?
on Diesel power can only be deemed a massive mistake. Number 6, it has looked awful for 15 years. 15 years of the WWE title looking like a party favor. It's not right. The spinning belt is the easier target and has been the water is wet of wrestling criticism for the last few years. Of course,
I
it's
love
bad.
that
What you
belt.
get when you ask a 60-year-old man to draw what he thinks a pimpin' belt would look like given 2 minutes and a napkin. It's supposed to look like a vanilla-ized piece of crap, but when Cena gave up that gimmick, they forgot to change the belt back. But actually, looking at them side by side, God, maybe the modern version of the championship is worse. It's literally just a company logo hot glued to a piece of leather with some tacky ass junk you can get in a Bajazzy or Teenage Diary set from Target. It's just a super expensive version.
It's
That
amazing.
was better.
No, that was trash.
Logo
The
on
big
leather,
old
call
champion?
it a
No,
day.
trash.
There's no actual design here.
I
We
like
are
that.
light years away from the
That one's
greatness
different
of
from
the
ours.
Big Eagle.
I just don't like the Universal title being
I like
a
this one.
copycat of. Oh, that's my favorite belt. Well, no, the Winged Eagle, but this is like my second. But the fucking Universal title does not need to look like the WWE title. It's lazy. It's fucking lazy, and I wish they would.
Vince.
This is
Triple H
nostalgic
gets to work on
either.
champion.
This looks like a belt
Please.
that people would shed literal blood, sweat, and tears to hold, even for a single show. This looks like a corporate gift that WWE would hand out to its favorite celebrities.
point.
It is the wrestling equivalent of a fucking business card. And now all 4 top titles look like this because misery shared is misery
Lazy.
squared. It's madness. Number 5, the summer of Punk. Oh man, talk about
boy.
drop ball. This ball was dropped so hard it fell through the fucking.
Talk your shit about Punk, Mobashir. You hate Punk for no reason.
I love Punk.
No, you don't.
I just don't like
That he quits.
the way he's in WWE. The AEW, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's it. I love Punk as a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
Started singing
I
Old
don't like
Man
the
River. The
shenanigans,
build
the
to
way
Money in
he
the
does
Bank
that. No, I agree.
2011 was amazing. Partly because of this gentleman, but also partly because it had completely new, shocking, and unpredictable stakes. They made it seem like the world was coming to an end. Jesus Christ, what would happen if CM Punk
It
left
made me like
with the WWE Championship? What could possibly happen? Answer, they bring out a new belt. Same as the old belt, then crown someone else. Then CM Punk comes back within the fortnight, toilet flush sound.
Well, it came back
WWE had a different
Right,
world
not even.
title right there. If only they shifted to focus on the World Heavyweight title and just
Give
let the
that some
WWE
importance.
Championship be
Look
stolen
better
for a little
anyway.
while longer. Just a few months longer of the most interesting WWE storyline in a literal decade. Instead of taking the time to slow cook a pork shoulder, WWE just wrote the words pulled pork on a piece of paper and tried to sell that instead. And God, imagine if there was just no WWE Championship a month at a time.
Bro.
Oh wait, you don't have to. Number 4, the WWE Championship holiday sponsored by Jimmy John's.
Where you going?
You walk away. This nigga's a former Jimmy John's employee, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He said, "I've had enough."
That's garbage.
become at best a running joke and at worst a cause for fans to pop a caps lock fit whenever Brock Lesnar wins either the WWE or Universal title because he fucks off with it to go commit the apocalypse in the Yukon. Now personally, I disagree with that. I think the belt never feels more like the great achievement it should be than when it sits around the waist of Smaug Lesnar, the Gold Hoarder. But gosh, it makes so many people so angry that clearly a murder has happened that I'm unaware of. I'll grant you that not having the belt around occasionally makes WWE go, well, I can't see it, so no point talking about it because it's a toddler with no object permanence. And that can make the title feel...
That's my main problem with Raw right now.
No champion.
Like, if Roman showed up to Raw as much as he showed up to SmackDown, it wouldn't be a problem with him being part-time. Because he's all his appearances are on SmackDown. He has very rare appearances on Raw while he holds Raw's championship. Yeah, but it's very rare that he's there.
Only big events on Raw, that's it.
Right.
When they go to New York and shit.
Right.
Like either an afterthought or a cynical bargaining tool in the endless contract negotiations of the world's most German man to ever not be German. Maybe that's why people are cross, or maybe it's because Brock Lesnar is occasionally linked with horrendous bullshit like. Number 3, Kofi Kingston forgets how to be ambitious. Man, this stings. It still really stings. Like, sure, especially through the lens of this year, the optics is pretty bad. SmackDown moves to a proudly right-wing channel. The first thing that happens is WWE's first African-born WWE champion is completely destroyed by a man who looks like he could teach a course on being white at Princeton. Like, grow.
That was the most woke thing I've ever heard in a wrestling video in my life. Yo, he said the first African-born champion got destroyed by a white man.
But the real reason this sucks is so much more than that. You can get a really good story out of being squashed. Hell, when Goldberg squashed Lesnar, Paul Heyman nearly died, and it fueled Brock for 6 months. WWE weren't interested in Kofi Kingston as champ anymore, though. There was Cain Velasquez to build to, remember that? So as soon as he was beaten, back to smiling and clapping with the New Day. Thank you very much. It was insulting to Kofi and the championship. For Kofi, it removed all the agency of his character, all that drive, ambition that powered Kofi Mania. It doesn't matter anymore. He'd learned his place. And for the championship, wrestlers should need that belt. Steve Austin said, I need to beat you, Rock, more than anything you could ever imagine. That is the level of respect that belt used to get, whereas Kofi can't bring himself away from pancakes long enough to grieve. If wrestlers aren't shown as really wanting the belt, if it doesn't drive them, then it's just something that everyone gets a turn holding, and it doesn't matter. And to reinforce that opinion, number 2, why can't the WWE Championship main event a fucking pay-per-view?
Number 1's coming up, gang. We'll find out if Jinder's on this list at all.
The WWE title, the thing that Austin sold his soul for, has headlined a pay-per-view 3 times, once per year. The Six-Pack Challenge at Fastlane in 2018, the Elimination Chamber match in 2019, and Drew versus Brock at Mania 36, which, if you're paying attention, means that a singles match for the WWE Championship, which used to be the pinnacle of wrestling importance of all the shows in the last 3 years, has main evented a pay-per-view once. The last one before Drew versus Brock was AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal in 2017. I feel like I'm going mad. The entirety of Kofi's run took place in the mid-card. Same with 90% of AJ Styles go. Drew only main evented a pay-per-view when he won the belt and hasn't main evented since. I'm recording this before Hell in a Cell, so maybe Drew has now main evented. I don't know what more you can say. I don't know why this has happened. Why would you? The title is only as important as let's just move on. And number 1, Jinder.
Run me my fucking money.
Alright, let's hear it.
No, I'm saving it for the end of the video.
God, I knew that was coming. Fuck.
This is the best video I've ever seen in my life. Oh, Jinder, you belong on this fucking list.
I've expended all of the energy I can on this dead hog of a title reign. People just get angry with me when I say that putting the top title on a man who's never had to wrestle longer than 5 minutes on TV and somehow expect him to be magically a main event talent was a bad idea. Months of exactly the same match from Jinder. Clumsy back and forth, interference from his tiny friends, Kalas victory. The idea that Shinsuke Nakamura can beat Kota Ibushi in the Tokyo Dome but can't overcome Jinder Mahal and his 2 sons, it kneecap Nat's momentum. Before anyone says anything, yes, Drew McIntyre was in 3MB as well, but he went from enhancement talent to the indie circuit where he was already an established main event and went through a boot camp circuit of ICW, Impact, hell, WCPW, constantly training himself to have these 20-minute main event matches, to be the man to carry the big belt, so that when he came back, he was built for the title. Jinder, through no fault of his own, was plucked from obscurity because of his ethnicity.
That's a good point. It wasn't Jinder's fault.
The he was
make that
talking,
clear.
you're
Basically
the man now,
diversity,
dog.
right.
And
I wanna make
that's
that
it.
clear.
Fans still claim that it was a good thing because it was unexpected, unique, and produced genuine anger, but so does a f***ing bear attack, and I really can't go through the differences between actual heel heat and the I don't want to watch this product despair felt by
Thank
fans when
you.
the WWE Championship match was reliably the worst match on the pay-per-view
Thank
every
you.
single time. And I'm sad now. And that's our list.
Go ahead.
Jinder Mahal
Your time has come.
as WWE champion.
You happy? You've been validated.
No, shut up.
The battle.
Jinder Mahal as WWE champion has to be the single worst. He's the single worst champion I had ever lived through.
Tell him
At
why,
least
Slime.
in my lifetime.
Tell him why, Slime.
Jinder Mahal, and this is an actual stat. Jinder Mahal, before he was WWE champion, had an 80% win-loss record. So he lost 80% of his matches before he was given the title.
Yep.
He couldn't even win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which is a waste of time battle royal. The man couldn't even win that. But 1 month later, he's magically our WWE champion.
Out of nowhere.
How the fuck does that make any kind of lick of sense? Not only that, beating Randy Orton. For me, I'm supposed to watch wrestling and suspend my disbelief. But a guy who was a consistent loser goes ahead and wins the championship. What sense does that make?
Is he the most mobile?
No, he's not as bad as Great Khali. But as a wrestler, he's not as bad as Great Khali. But the run to the championship has got to be one of the worst. Like, he's the worst long-term champion I've ever seen. Because, you know, Vince held it for 2 days. That's worse. Ray held it for an hour. That's worse. But as a long-term champion, he's the fucking worst.
By far.
He's the fucking worst.
By far. By a mile.
Because me personally as a wrestling fan, my interest in wrestling went down because of him being champion. I watched anything else but that.
His matches were at best snooze fest.
Bro, thank you. Jinder Mahal was not an interesting champion. He couldn't cut a promo to save his fucking life.
He didn't have any cool moves.
Nothing, bro. His matches, like Adam said, his matches were the same. Slow, methodical, boring.
With interference.
With interference from the Singh brothers. Colossus win.
Same recipe Roman uses.
No, because Roman's matches. No, you did not.
Roman
just
has one of the
compare
best
Roman
spears
Reigns
of all
to Jinder.
time.
Now you're making me mad. Jinder Mahal is not on Roman Reigns' fucking tier. Are you fucking serious?
You talked about how it was interference.
But the matches were interesting. Jinder
And
Mahal
he had a good build up to
and
it. Getting
Roman-
the bloodline together was interesting.
Name me one Jinder Mahal match where he won by himself. Oh, crickets. He couldn't do it.
I can say the same thing about Roman.
Oh, no, you
He
can't.
hasn't won
No,
one.
you can't. He beat Kevin Owens by himself.
No.
Yes, he has. He choked him out and dropped him down from the fucking ladder. He won that match by himself.
Not the Rumble.
Wait. The triple threat with Lashley and Big E.
That too. Edge and
That was
Bryan.
a title match.
It don't matter.
He
Edge
just
and
beat
Bryan.
Randy by himself.
He stacked and pinned Edge and Bryan for the title. We gonna forget about that?
Only
He beat
getting the
Brock by
bloodline
himself.
together.
He beat Brock by
Getting the
himself.
bloodline together.
He beat Brock by himself at WrestleMania. He beat Jay by himself at
He
Clash
beat
of
Drew by
Champions.
himself? Did he beat Drew by himself?
Bruh, he's a heel. He's not gonna win by himself
my
every
point.
time.
That's my point.
But Jinder did it every fucking time. It was the same format.
We at
every
least know
match.
Roman can win matches by
By
himself.
himself.
We didn't know Jinder could do it.
couldn't
Never
do it.
saw it.
He couldn't do it. That's my problem with Jinder Mahal as champion. He wasn't believable. Had he won the U.S. title and had like
He did win though.
that was after.
Wrestling is 70% selling a story.
And there was no story for Jinder Mahal to go from
There was a story.
fucking loser.
There was a story.
What was the story?
Loser to champion.
That's not interesting.
That's interesting.
No.
That's pretty much anybody who's
okay.
ever won a championship for the first
No,
time.
listen. If it was with the U.S. title, sure. But the WWE... Okay, let me list you a list of people who have won the title.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to end with Jinder Mahal, and you tell me if that even equates to each other. Right?
Yep.
Hogan.
Yep.
Savage.
Yep.
Brett.
Yep.
Michaels.
Yep.
Austin.
Yep.
Rock. Triple H. Cena. Orton. Edge. Styles. Roman.
You said Brock, right?
Yeah. Rollins. Punk. Brock.
Ray.
Jinder fucking Mahal.
Ray.
Sure, but he wasn't a good WWE champion. Drew. Does that sound like the same tier as Jinder Mahal? I don't think
Drew's
so.
way better.
Kane.
Kane. Taker. Is Taker on the same tier as Mahal?
What?
Fuck out of here.
You want to get slapped?
I've said enough.
You want to get slapped?
I've said
saying
enough.
that?
Jinder Mahal was the worst WWE champion of my
I just think he
lifetime.
wasn't given a good shot. I think it wasn't really that bad.
He didn't
So it's not his
deserve
fault.
the shot.
It's not his fault.
The point of the
It's
title
bad
reign.
writing.
The point of the title reign was for him to bring
What
the
are your
Indian
least
market
rating?
in, and it didn't work.
Because
They
it was,
didn't care.
Because it was rushed. It wasn't.
Exactly my
That's the
fucking
point.
point.
It's rushed. You
It
gotta earn
was
that.
garbage.
We gotta believe you
It
earned
was
it.
fucking
You
garbage.
didn't
Okay,
earn it
you
or
want
retain
him-
it.
You want him. He got rushed into something. You want him to do something with that.
That's the
That's
bro.
not his fault.
When I'm talking
At
about
least win
it
your
wasn't
matches.
his fault.
At least win your matches by yourself. Make us believe you earned it.
He didn't do that once. Not
That's
once.
not his fault once again.
We're blaming it on writing. We're just saying he's a product
He's
of
a
that.
bad champion because of that. His in-ring style was not believable. Him on the mic was nowhere near believable.
At least sell it on the mic. Do a good promo.
At least. He couldn't even do that. Point made. Worst champion. End of the video.
Who's the worst champion in him? There's not one, right?
There's not a worst champion. Don't say anyone that's had it for an hour. That's not a fair judgment.
Any
I already said before. I already named 3 people.
You said
No,
Roman?
you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Who's
Say him
your
again.
I'm talking The Miz.
The Miz?
The Miz.
Okay, I don't agree, but okay.
The Miz when
The Miz at least
he
had.
cashed in on Drew.
He had champion. Oh, that one.
That was
Okay,
horrible.
fine, sure. But
No,
I'm saying
not
long
Jinder,
term.
though.
That's not long term. That was 8 days.
Yeah.
Okay, what about JBL? JBL wasn't good either. He was
He's
basic-
better than Jinder.
They came off the same block. He wasn't winning shit either. He was
Yes,
a
he
loser.
was. He's a former tag
He
team
was
champion.
a loser though.
He was part of one of the best tag teams of all
As a
time.
singles, he was a loser.
Wasn't that Jinder's first belt he ever won?
Yes.
The WWE Championship?
Jinder
That's your
Mahal
first belt?
was at 80%. He had an 80% lose percentage. He lost 80% of his matches
We're not
before
even
winning the title.
gonna say that, bro. He couldn't sell a match or a promo. You had one job and couldn't do it. But you're champion?
Point made. I'm done. Culture game.
Culture game.
Fuck Jinder. I'm done, man. Fuck you.